Most of you guys probably know that I'm somewhat of a Rocket League history buff. I love watching all the old tournaments and seeing how the game has changed over the past 3 years. It's also really fun to just relive some of the best moments in Rocket League history. Now, there's a few different factors that I'm using to pick these tournaments. Obviously, it's how the matches go and things that happen in the games, and really all the storylines that happen. But it's also the overall influence that each tournament had on the esport. There have been Rocket League tournaments that have basically changed the course of the game and changed the esport forever. Before I get into the video, I wanted to let you know that this video is sponsored by GamerLink. GamerLink is a free looking for group app for gamers who are looking to connect with other players, either to trade or to play ranked, whatever it may be. It's an amazing app. I would definitely recommend it. If you're interested in downloading it, I've put a link in the description below. And again, it's completely free, so definitely check it out if you haven't. Alright guys, let's get into my picks for the 10 best Rocket League tournaments of all time. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoy it. Alright, let's get into the list. First on our list is the second season of the 12 Titans 1v1 tournament. Now, aside from being the largest prize pool in Rocket League 1v1 history, and actually it was the largest by a long shot, and obviously the gameplay was amazing, for me the most impressive aspect of this tournament was how League of Rockets were able to take the production to another level, topping the first tournament in multiple ways, which was not an easy thing to do. I think a lot of people had high expectations for this tournament, and it definitely didn't let down. The tournament took place on an actual land, which is pretty cool, and it added some great elements to the overall production. If you haven't watched the League of Rockets tournaments, I've got a link in the description to his YouTube channel. It's pretty much the best Rocket League content, at least in terms of production value. It's really amazing. Now, in terms of the matches, it was super competitive as was expected, and I think most knew it was between Fairy Peak and Scrub. I honestly thought Fairy Peak was unstoppable at this point. Scrub wasn't winning near as many show matches, and his rank wasn't near as high, and Fairy was absolutely dominating everyone. But as always, Scrub manages to play really well when he needs to, and this is what makes him one of the most clutch players in the world. Number 9, RLC Pro League Tournament of 2016. This was the biggest Rocket League tournament prior to the RLCS later in that year, and it was a 7-week-long tournament leading up to the online finals, which consisted of Crown & Jewels and Flipside. Crown & Jewels was one of the only European teams to have beaten Flipside at this point, but they were still the underdog. Now, I've talked about this match before. It was one of the craziest series in Rocket League history, plus it was a best of 9. The series went all the way to Game 9, and here's how the match came to an end.
The Flipside Tactics defense, 10 seconds on the clock. That's the final countdown. Will they be able to get a buzzer beater goal? Killer number 7 is going to try to get the ball up front. Siki with the pass over to Pesci. It goes in! That's it!
Pesci! What an unbelievable back and forth. Look at this exchange between he and Siki. And a massive, and utterly massive 2-second goal to win it all. Oh my God.
One goal will decide it all. Crown & Jewels, Pesci, back to the goal, and that's it! Crown & Jewels are the Season 1 Rocket League Central Pro League champions!
Unbelievable. What a comeback. What a story.
Number 8, RLCS Season 3. This was a crazy Rocket League tournament. NRG finally played well at a LAN, sending Northern Gaming down to the lower bracket in the quarterfinals, and forcing them to make one of the best lower bracket runs in RLCS history, behind probably only Flipside in Season 2. NRG also beat Flipside in the next round, and it was just so exciting to see NRG do well. Like, it was hard not to root for them, with Jacob just like looking so excited. Northern Gaming played too good the final day, as they basically just dominated everyone, and this was really the beginning of Turbo's never-ending journey to complete world dominance. He hadn't really had his chance to shine until this point, as he was filling in for Maestro, who couldn't play in the tournament, and his performance was incredible, and this really was an amazing tournament. Number 7, the 12 Titans NA qualifier for Season 2. This qualifier tournament for the massive 1v1 tournament was truly amazing, both for NA and EU. It was so great seeing all of these 1v1 gods just like tear up the field, and what's really cool was that these were players that nobody had even heard of. Now, the biggest story, however, was Sharif's run through the tournament and his insane comeback in the finals. Now, this was arguably the greatest comeback in Rocket League history.
The dribbling challenge, oh my goodness, he's smashed the near post. That is a nightmare. Rettles, yeah, can he go all the way? He's got the open head, but he hits the floor. Oh my goodness. We are in overtime, and I have no idea what is going to happen. Bumped by Sharif. Another opportunity, but he has no boost to speak of. He's turned aggressively. This man is a maniac. He's going for every single opportunity. Boost has been secured. And this might be it. Sharif with the shot, and he has done it. One of the best comebacks I have ever seen. Reynolds with a throw to be reckoned with. But
Number 6, E-League. This was really the moment that I knew G2 was back. They proved that they had it in them to hang with any team in the world as they took down the best of NA and EU, including Gale Force in the finals. Now that finals went all the way to the final seconds of Game 7, but G2 managed to hold off Gale Force's constant pressure with some really incredible saves. This was one of those tournaments that was just good for Rocket League in general. The community needed G2 to win a major tournament because G2 obviously has such a huge fan base. Number 5, the first 12 Titans. Scrub winning the first 12 Titans was kind of like Kronovi winning the first RLCS. It just was meant to happen. Now, aside from his incredible run, I've put this one on my list mainly because of the production that went into this tournament. It really was a first of its kind. Actually, there's still really nothing like these tournaments put on by League of Rockets. Everything from the sound design to the use of replays in between goals to the epic intros and outros. Though I still prefer a live tournament setting with all of, the cringy moments and all the awkwardness. There's just something about these edited tournaments, like they can create a storyline that just feels different. Now, it's a lot of work, but it makes the whole thing feel very epic. You just have to watch it to understand. Number 4, RLCS Season 2. We'll call this one Flipside's Revenge because that's really what it felt like. Again, there's so many storylines in this tournament, one of my favorite being Mocket's incredible upper bracket run, taking down Orbit with an amazing last second comeback, and then Flipside and Northern Gaming. Flipside was just too jacked up going into the finals, and they pulled out a crazy bracket reset and then won in the second series. This tournament basically summed up Flipside's style at the time. They always played best when they were down for some reason. I don't know if it was just the nature of their team. Regardless, it made for some truly amazing matches. Number 3, Dreamhack Atlanta. Now, if you want a sense of what this tournament was like for the Muffin Men, that's Squishy's team before they became Cloud9, I've put a link to his montage of the whole tournament. It's pretty awesome. They took down the best teams in the world, basically out of nowhere. I think people knew that they were good and that they'd probably be able to hang with some of these teams, but I don't think anybody expected this because they no longer had Lachinio on their team, and he was really one of their best players. But Gimmick came out of nowhere. Now, every series they were picked to lose, and they somehow managed to get the win. I remember watching the final series against Gale Force. It was one of the craziest Rocket League matches I think I've ever seen. And no one was more excited than the Muffin Men themselves.
And it's all the Muffin Men are your Dreamhack champions!
Alright, number 2, RLCS Season 1. This one had to be on the list because it really shaped Rocket League esports in its early days. As Marky Duda has said, it was basically prophetic for Kronovi and IBP to win the first RLCS, especially against Flipside Tactics. But this tournament was so much more than that. There were other storylines that people forget about. The complete dominance of Europe, which has finally now shifted to a more even playing field. And, the Flying Dutchman randomly taking out the best teams in NA. Flipside absolutely demolishing every single team in the lower bracket, but then still managing to lose in the finals to IBP. I don't think I fully understood it when I watched this because I didn't really understand the game at the time, but seeing this tournament and just how competitive these matches were and really watching the crowd, seeing how excited people were, it really solidified in my mind that Rocket League was going to go somewhere as a game and as an esport, and I think it had a huge influence on me. Now this brings us to my number 1 pick, which is RLCS Season 5. This was, in my opinion, by far the best Rocket League tournament in the history of the esport, and sadly I missed it. I did watch it on Twitch, but I wasn't able to be there even though I really wanted to. But I'll be at the next one. Anyways, what really stuck out besides the amazing gameplay and matches was NRG and Dignitas absolutely dominating, and obviously CJ being silly. But it was really more just the overall vibe. I wasn't even there, but I could feel watching the tournament. These people love Rocket League and they love the esport in the same kind of way that football fans love their football teams, but it's not so divided. It's like everybody roots for everybody on at least some level. and people are just excited to be a part of it. I think we're at a turning point in Rocket League esports, and every decision counts now. So setting the prize pool for the next RLCS to $1 million, that's a fantastic start. But there's so much more to come, and I really hope the esport just keeps growing. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below which tournaments are your favorite, and also be sure to check out my other videos and my other top 10 videos on these kind of topics. Don't forget to check out GamerLink as well. Again, that's the link in the description below. It's completely free, and it's the best way to connect with other gamers. Thanks for watching. Peace out.